Welcome back. We have Mark Bertoli joining us from Abbott Wealth Management on this Wednesday. Great to have you back on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, tax time. Tax time is what we're talking about, but a little bit of a different spin on how we're going to talk about tax time today.
There's just a great piece on domestic tax, and recently, because of the Panama Papers, there's been a lot of focus on international tax havens.
Let's talk about this first of all. The Panama Papers is supposed to be a massive scandal, like massive.
Yeah, it's a company that created, or a law firm that created shell companies for corporations and individuals to hold money in tax havens. So all that's coming out. So it's pretty interesting. So CRA, there have been plans being made prior to this though, because in the new budget, there is about $90 million more dollars to be used to audit people who are using these tax havens. There's about 80 tax havens around the world where, Bermuda's a good example, the Cayman Islands. Right now they're targeting the Isle of Man. These are all tax havens that don't report and don't have corporate tax. So think of it as kind of an illegal tax-free savings account.
Right.
So $90 million in the budget to go after and audit these different individuals and people. They're looking to recover $2.8 billion in the next 5 years.
That's a pretty healthy size amount.
Yeah, so very substantial. Right now, CRA's come out and said they're targeting about 350 high net worth families that are looking at using these types of things, and about 400 corporations. So things are going to be changing from people that have been, parking money offshore and things like that. So,
why do you think it's all coming to a head right now?
Well, I think it's accountability, and for anybody who pays their fair share of taxes, it's probably good news because there's a lot of people that are not paying their fair share of taxes. It's a big thing. Right now, there's a mandatory reporting, for instance. If $10,000 leaves the country, financial institutions have to report that to CRA. So it's quite a big thing. Typically, they will do about 600 audits in this area annually. 2016-17 year, they're going to be doing about 3,000. So about 5 times as many audits as they were in the past. So they're clearly focusing. France, New Zealand, Canada, and I just heard Holland is going to levy 300% fines on the people that they catch using these havens for really tax evasion.
Some pretty nervous individuals out there right now, I would suspect.
I would imagine there is, yeah.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah. So anyways, it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. I'm sure they're going to report back on their success and how they're finding these different havens. So.
Okay. Anything else? Any other things you want to mention?
No, I think that's about it for now. We're going to have to readdress this when later on when we see some results from the audits and things like that. So
we do have a question of the week this week. If we could put that up, please. What factors affect the amount that one will need to retire?
This is no one ever answers this question.
Yes.
So. And I am, but I'm not.
Okay.
So my answer to this question really is you have to work backwards. So if you live in West Van on the ocean and you travel every second month somewhere around the world, you're going to have a completely different figure than somebody who lives in northern British Columbia and loves to go camping and fishing in northern British Columbia. So I'm not saying one way of retirement gives you more pleasure or anything like that, but it really, that number is so dependent on your lifestyle, on your expenses in retirement, and what you project to be that. So a good way to start with this is sitting down with your spouse and looking at your retirement and saying, okay, what are we going to do when we retire? Are we going to travel all over the world, or are we going to stay domestic? And have a number, create a budget for your advisor to know what you're looking at drawing annually for those expenses.
Okay.
The next thing your advisor should do is take a really good look at the present value of $1 and the future value of $1. And not many people talk about that.
Let's look at this graph that we have to explain this.
we looked at $1 today in 2016, and then we looked out required amount and what your buying power would be at 20, 30, 40, 50 years. So a dollar today, in order to replace that dollar, would be $2.89 in 50 years. Well, people go, well, 50 years doesn't concern me. I'm retiring at 65, but if you're 35 and you're going to finish your retirement at 85 or 90, then 50 years is very relevant. So the next thing that the advisor is going to do is going to take your time frame and do it on a dollar adjusted cost basis, so that you can actually know what your buying power is in the future in your retirement. So what that tells us right now is a $5 coffee today in 50 years is going to cost you somewhere around $15 to $20 a coffee.
That's crazy. Do you think that will be the case? A $15 coffee
There
at
you
Starbucks?
go. But if you were paid 50 years ago what you're paid today, if you think back in time, that would be probably one of the top salaries in Kamloops.
Yes.
Right? So time is definitely a factor, and the buying power of a dollar is a factor, and then determining the lifestyle that you want in retirement.
Yeah.
One other thing we usually find, savers are savers in retirement. If you're a spender during your life, you're going to be a spender in retirement. So you better factor that in.
People don't tend to break their habits just because they're retiring.
Right.
So better stick with what you are used to if you don't want to change your lifestyle.
Right on.
Okay, Mark, some great things to think about. Kind of scary, the $15 or $20 coffee that could be happening in 2050 or whatever that will be. Thank you very much for being here. Some great information today.
Thank you.
Very welcome. AbbottWealth.com, info@AbbottWealth.com as well. You can phone them directly, 372-3736. We are back in 2 minutes. Stay with us.